I'm along my favourite part of the park again. That seems to be coming more and more often. These trees definitely attracting me. In a clip I recorded yesterday, I happened to start talking about approaching 50. And I've known for a while I'll probably do some clips on my way there. But I wasn't really expecting today, and then I've just stood for a while here looking at the trees thinking, is there anything I have to say today? Anything I want to share on here that I'll film, then maybe upload to YouTube, who knows? I'm sure there's many people at the same stage as I am, approaching 50. Maybe just turned, or knowing it's coming up soon, or another decade, 40s, 60s, whatever it is. I just sneeze, so if the camera just jolted, that's why. So what I'm feeling at the moment is excited anticipation. I can't wait. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I'm making myself believe this, but 50. Part of me, years ago, obviously when I was much younger, couldn't imagine 50. I imagine most of us can't when we're young, in our 20s or whatever. And I remember sitting on a train with other people on the same course as me, talking about 50s and how it would be. I think somebody had maybe walked past who was older, and it started that conversation. I remember even then thinking, I can't imagine it. I think I said it out loud, I can't imagine it. Can't imagine how I'll be, can't imagine what I'll be thinking, or how I'll be presenting myself as, to the public eye, as well as privately to myself. Just couldn't imagine it. So I think part of me has maybe, not necessarily avoided it, but just put it out of my mind. We think of 40s, we think of 60s, maybe due to retirement, more so the old retirement age, not so much now. But 50s kind of left it just there as a number. But what I find is I am really excited about it. Maybe not excited about the day, but that's for other reasons. That's nothing about age. But 50, turning of a decade, I think that's what maybe excites me more. I was like this with 40. 41 I didn't particularly like so much, I don't think, so I might be the same with 51, but there's something about turning that decade into something new, and that maybe the chance to be something new, do things differently, let go of things, bring more new things in. And my challenge for my 40s was visiting 40 countries in my 40s. And it's amazing how many times that phrase has come from my mouth. I've shared with others, I've written about it. I've obviously done the activities that go towards achieving that challenge, and I achieved it at 45. So halfway through the decade I'd achieved it. Just as well, because COVID hit 2020, and luckily the previous year I had hit my 40 without realising it, to be fair. I hadn't sat down and listed all the countries so much, so I hadn't realised I've already achieved it. And I really did want maybe this final year to really finish it in style, and it wasn't meant to be for many reasons. But I can always extend the challenge if I want to. I know that because obviously we had COVID and we had lockdown, and that took away, part of the opportunities, lots of opportunities. And I also went through a period of illness, so that took away some other opportunities, or delayed. And over the months, I think since I counted the countries up, I've kind of gradually, and I say gradually, it's very gradually, accepted that I've achieved that challenge. that I didn't necessarily have that push anymore to rush in and get some more countries in, or take time even and have a long, a year in one country, or take a year for 3 countries or 4 countries. That was always my idea, to finish it. But that doesn't have to happen now. And maybe I don't want it either. But yeah, so I feel like maybe it's that I feel very satisfied about my 40s and what I've achieved and what I've done, and turning into 50 really does appeal. I don't know what challenge I'm going to set, if I'm going to call it a challenge for my 50s. I haven't come up with that. I imagine it will come to me peacefully over the next just short of 3 months now before the 50th comes. But what I am allowing myself, and maybe this will turn into part of it, I'm allowing myself a year to celebrate coming into this new decade. So every day I am going to do something. It doesn't have to be major, doesn't have to be a huge celebration, doesn't have to be an achievement, which up to now I've talked a lot about achievements. And I use those words and challenges and all those real action-based ones, and quickness and whatever else. So there is a sense for my 50s that maybe I want something softer. Maybe there's an expression, or there's a positive challenge, and whatever word I can use to go into those. So we want them to be really, really good. Really, amazing in their own right. I say that my 30s, I was so excited to leave because there'd been a lot of loss and grief and change in my 30s. That had taken a lot from me. I'd learnt a lot, but it had also taken a lot out of me. And it was only at the end of my 30s when I'd started travelling more and doing more things. So, I say at the end, it was probably the age of 37 onwards that I'd looked more of what I wanted. And obviously family circumstances allowed me to do that. That came from that loss and grief. Maybe a wish to do something that lit me up, that wowed me, that gave me all. So, as I head towards my 50s, I think the sense I want, and the sense maybe I'm working to, is this peace. I'm feeling a lot of peace and calm at the moment. Just an acceptance of how things are, without wanting to or needing to change them. Yes, I want things to be different, but I don't feel that rush to, that desperation of it's got to be different. I'm just accepting. And, slowly coming to the end of my 40s. In a way I probably didn't think they would be coming to an end. So, my 50s I'm excited about. There's going to be lots of changes, obviously. That always happens in a woman's life, in her 50s and onwards. But also, I guess there was lots of parts of me that ended in my 40s. I stopped my career of teaching 2017. And that acceptance, I imagine, came, that decision I made. It was probably a final decision a couple of years later. But, it's one of those, isn't it, that ended. I started my business. I started writing, because I think I've always been writing in some way or another, but I self-published my own book on Kindle in 2019, so I would have been 45. So again, halfway through my 40s. So that's a big part of my 40s. And the 9 books that I've self-published, written and self-published, are out there. That all happened in my 40s. So things that, I expected maybe for my 60s and 70s. I thought I would be doing my business and my writing then. But they've happened in my 40s. So there's a gentle excited anticipation, but in a gentle way, as opposed to expectation about my 50s, because I imagine it's going to be something new. There's lots of things that have ended in my 40s, so what newness, what new things, new people, new situations, new opportunities are going to come in my 50s? I don't know. I really don't know. This past year I've been doing each week, a newness for a year. That was my gentle offering to myself on my 49th birthday, that I would aim to do something new each week if I could. There's been lots of those, so it doesn't have to be new places, new countries, but it could just be new things. So trying new things, open up the world a bit more. Already quite an open person to opportunities, but it opened up a lot. And I have done a clip on that. I'm sure there'll be another one as it comes to the end or near the end, and maybe I'll talk about the things that I've done. But that's that. So maybe that's why I'm already there for my 50s, thinking, well, this isn't such a huge jump anymore, maybe like it was into my 30s, 40s, giving myself that challenge of travel to make myself do more, or encourage me with a supportive nudge and a challenge. I like the word challenge. For me, it's a hugely positive thing. It doesn't have to be a challenge in the sense of extreme sports or anything that's risky, but a challenge in some way. It's going to be interesting. And we shall see what it holds. But that's my reflection today on my 50s. I am excited, gently excited, but excited all the same. And I think what I'm also not doing this time round is listening to other people who are turning 50. Because when I did that for my 40s, there were friends who were quite negative about it. They were coming up to their 40s, some before me, some after me, and they were really dreading it. So this time around, I'm not listening to people who are turning 50. I'm just going to enjoy what I want to do, enjoy how I feel about it, enjoy that movement, that wonderment. So definitely, that's me, looking forward to 50.